special message from the Queen.
Oh, wonderful.
And I received this special message from the Queen a short while ago, a few hours ago, and I now present you with this very special message.
Oh, that's in the fancy envelope.
And it says follow the instructions on the back, and there aren't any instructions.
Yes,
that's
right.
Now you can do it.
Ah, a bit sticky.
It's probably the best glue in the land.
Yeah, they don't intend anybody else to read it, do they?
It's not the idea.
That's the sticky label.
That's the sticky bit. Now then, you hold that. Pull that out.
I'd better get rid of this sticky thing.
Yes.
Yes, there's another envelope here.
It's just on tabs.
Wonder if it has a picture of Her Majesty in it. Do you think it might have?
Oh, it's hard to say, isn't it?
Oh, yes.
Oh, hey.
There we are. A lovely picture of the Queen.
Isn't that nice?
Ah, there's a picture of the Queen, is it?
Yep.
Yes.
Ah.
And it's one of these with an inner thingy, so you have to open that bit. There we are. That's a gold cord.
It's a yellow
That's
ribbon.
supposed to be there. That's a gold cord.
That's
To make it, no, leave it on. It's supposed to be decorating. That's it. Now it says, I am so pleased to know that you are celebrating your 100th birthday on 13th April 2011. I send my congratulations and best wishes to you on such a special occasion. And then you've got the signature, Elizabeth R. And underneath it's got your name, Mrs. Mabel Cluer.
It would have gone to her to sign.
Yes, I mean, she probably... I heard something on the television the other day that 100 years ago there were just about 100 people in the country who were centenarians. And now there's around about 12,000.
Really?
And so someone was saying, I think the Queen's hand's probably getting a bit tired with all the signing that she has to do. But it's a nice thing to be signing for.
Yes.
But she does sign them herself.
Oh, lovely.
One thing that I discovered is that things which you thought mattered an awful lot when you were young don't matter at all. I can't think of them specifically, but the things that in the past that may have worried you, they've just gone into the past and not done any harm, and everything's been okay in the end. So the chief lesson to be learnt is never to worry.
Not ever.
Not ever. On the other hand, I have, since I got old, learned to be very careful. But you have to be cautious, not frightened or anything, but have to take every precaution possible. And I think I've been fairly careful all my life, actually, because my father was sensible in those ways, taking every precaution for things that might go wrong, and I think I learned a good few lessons from him. My philosophical outlook is largely due to my father, I think. And certainly my diet is due to my father. My father turned vegetarian when he was 17 years old, all of his own accord. Didn't know anybody else that was vegetarian in those days. He just thought, I'm not having any more of this stuff. Just refused meat and so on altogether, you see. And when he met my mother, she changed it in the same way. She saw the point, and I suppose when you fall in love you tend to do a little bit what the other party is interested in, and so on. And so she became vegetarian too, you see. So they were both vegetarian at the time I was born. And I don't know whether how many of you know about it, but my father at that stage had opened one of the first health foods ever to open in England, in Alfringham, Cheshire. There was another health food stores, I think, somewhere around, Pitman Health Food Company, which made vegetarian biscuits and things. They started a health food shop around about the same time, but there certainly were hardly any others around at the time my father opened his shop. And during the war, he had 4 branches, and he used to take me around on that Ford van, which we've got a photo of here. As each day we would go to the shops and see to the business and how it was going on and so on, and very often would take me with him round in the van. So that's one of my childhood memories, of course. I suppose it was some pre-driving lessons in a way, because he used to have me in the front, and in those days you didn't just do a lever to start the engine. You had to wind up the crank it up with the handle at the front, standing in front of the van, of course, so you didn't have to be in gear or anything. The imbalances, you see, the amount of the spark, the thing that makes a spark to set light to the petrol, you want a certain amount of it and a certain amount of petrol, and they got the sort of balance. And there were 2 little levers. One was spark and one was petrol, you see. And I used to sit in the van, and it used to be around at the front, and he'd turn a bit and say, more spark, you see, more petrol. And after quite a little bit of work, then the engine would start going. So that was quite interesting, and a lesson in how to drive a motor car. And at the same time, he had an office in town, and he had somebody working in the office, and he used to go and dictate letters and things. And I used to go into this office and play with the typewriter, which was my first introduction to typewriting, and do things with pencil and paper, you see. So I got very interested at that time in doing things with pencil and paper and the sort of writing or work like that. And I've always been very fond of writing things, and it's one of the things I like to do now, even though I can't read it. I like to write shopping lists or something for somebody else to read, because I still like the exercise of writing. And that happened in that day. Then later on they closed some of the shops, and they whittled it down a bit and so on. But those were some very good early memories. One of my vague memories, which I only just about remember, was when I was about 3, and when he was opening his second shop in Sale, 2 or 3 miles away. We went to look at the premises to see whether they would be suitable, and I can remember peering through the doorway of the shop and seeing a sort of dark space that they were assessing as whether that would be suitable for his shop. We did take it on, and we lived behind the shop for some time. I can remember some of my early efforts at painting were just the same as any other child of that age, really. I used to dog things about. But my mother thought, you know, she'd make a little show with them, and she sort of put them on a string and hung them up on the wall, like a display, and I remember that part, which sort of started off my interest in exhibitions and that sort of thing. And little did we know at that stage, of course, that I would exhibit a bit locally in the local art society, but as I did, and also exhibitions. Now, Edwin has taken on this idea of exhibitions, as you see from the photographs that is distributed today. And I thank Edwin very much for doing this. It's taken quite a lot of time and trouble and a bit of his cash producing this exhibition. So I'd like to tender thanks to Edwin for doing that. And thanks for all coming. So of course that was the thing. And we had, of course, stemming from this, the vegetarian exhibitions later on after I was married. And of course there again, the coincidence was that to the guest house, and while we were there we got engaged, you see, put it in a nutshell. But the coincidence was that not only had I been brought up in a health food shop, but my husband-to-be also was running a health food store. And it's interesting that he'd already got going on it. It was established business by the time I got married. But in all, he was running that shop for 52 years. He didn't retire until he was 84. So that was rather a good going, I think. And Edwin had a bit of experience of that. The other thing that might amuse you a little bit, that during the last war, some of you, I think, know about this. It was when I'd given up my hand painting work, which I'd been doing, and I was trying to do office work to bring in better money. I was not earning very much in the artistic line, and so I was trying to do a bit of office work. And I had a temporary job in Manchester. And when I first started the job, as I was walking in the morning light with the sunshine and things, I thought, oh, that looks nice. There was the gas holder thing, you know, the thing with, you know, the big things that keep the gas in, and I still have them there, and surrounding buildings, and they were all catching the morning light, and it was looking very pretty. And I thought that might make a nice sketch, you see. So the next day I took my little sketchbook, and at dinner time, when we had our lunch break, I went outside and did a few lines, you see, mapping it out, a bit here and a bit there. And I noticed that some other work people from the next door factory were sort of nudging one another and muttering. And 5 minutes or so later on, a strong voice came up and tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Hey, what are you doing?" I'm just making a sketch of that scene, you see. You better come along with us. And it was the police, you see. They took me off in their van. And of course, what I hadn't really thought of, I must have been very naive at the time, I suppose, but it never occurred to me. But what I was sketching was this gasworks, which would make a fine explosion if you dropped a bomb on it, you see. And I thought I was a German spy for Germany. So I went off to the police station and tried to explain my position. feeling very proud of myself really, because I was wearing a nice new costume which I hadn't worn very much, and feeling rather smart. And I knew I was perfectly innocent, so I didn't worry at all. But the inspector got this thing, and he said to his senior, he said, "It's very crude, sir." Just a few lines. And so after a bit of an interrogation, you see, and he said, "Oh well, you can go back to work or something, but you better report it or something." I don't know what they said. And let me go. So I went back to the office, and I was about half an hour more late. After lunch, I had to try and explain somehow why I hadn't come back to work in time. And when I got home at night, my stepmother met me in the hall and said, "What have you been doing?"
Like, you should imagine her.
The police had gone home, and she'd had to take them up into my bedroom and show them all the paintings I'd done at the art school and whatnot, and convinced them. And so the next day, one of the policemen came round and just warned me very sternly, "I better not do that sort of thing again." And that was that, you see. So, having been arrested, that was the end of that story. I don't know whether they want to ask me any questions about anything.
Would you like some cake?
Yes.
About like that. You think, Edwin? Yeah, push down. Push hard, there we are. Yay! Do it like... Is it hard?
That's, yes, it's
There we are. Got the...
it's rather small now for the big cake, isn't it?
Yeah. To say what...
That's the one with the ground.
I just wanted to say what a great mum I've had. She's been always the most lovely mum, the most wonderful to talk to. A great friend since I grew up, and always there with cuddles and ready for me when I was a kid. So, lovely mum. Taught me a great deal. All that I know, or nearly all that I know about cooking and cleaning and washing. But also, sort of just a good attitude to life, like looking on the bright side and always having consideration for other people. I think that's a particularly important thing that she's taught me. So I'd like to say sort of thanks very much, Mum, for being a great mum. Edwin, I've just been saying what I think Mum's great.
Oh, I thought she's always been small actually. But yeah, she's a truly wonderful person. And a companion for more than half a century.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.